Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake. Tier list, off season. We want to check in. We've seen a few of those tweets going around. It's closer to spring training than the end of the season, or maybe even opening day at this point, because it's December 20th. So I want to check in with every team's off season and see how we're doing, and we'll do it tier list style, because that makes it dramatic. How'd you put that team there? Maybe we'll close with a little football too. So with tier lists, it's always tricky because we may need to add or delete a tier. We will have it on the screen for you because I know you guys like that. Beebs is on that. The current categories we have: win the offseason, good offseason, depending on youth to get better, nothing matters, and what is you doing, baby, in true talking baseball fashion. So I think we want to check off some easy ones. And we might need to add a new category because there's a couple tweener teams that we're not sure what to do with. So let's get into it. And I want to reverse engineer this because I think the nothing matters category is pretty easy. And like we normally start off with on every baseball podcast, the Oakland A's. I mean, nothing matters.
No.
Nothing matters. It's really rude. They're moving in a couple years. We'll see you in a couple years.
They took Mitch Spence with the number one pick in the Rule 5 draft, and they'll have him stick.
Mitch Spence. We'll talk.
Yanks robbed.
A lot of time to talk about Mitch Spence. What's a team that for this offseason nothing matters? Washington Nationals?
They are on the list of teams I would consider there.
Nothing really matters. Like, they're not going to win the East.
There are four teams decidedly better than them, kind of no matter what. I can make the argument they're depending on youth to get better, and that would determine next offseason.
I wish they were. I don't think I can put them there.
That category is about, like, being competitive.
Yes.
I think they are nothing matters.
White Sox. I think nothing matters.
I think nothing matters. Our Colorado Rockies.
Oh, wow.
Oh
my God.
Nothing matters for them, right?
Nothing matters. Nothing has mattered. I did a cameo the other day. Holidays are coming up. Forget to get a gift. Send you one. And they were Rocky fans. And I was like, man, that's crazy.
Beautiful stadium.
Beautiful stadium.
Beautiful city.
They said it's their favorite bar in the city, Coors Field.
Like that.
So that's one thing and another thing at the same time. Kansas City maybe could get in there. We could wait on them, although they've actually made some moves.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you do with that. Are the Angels there? They lost Ohtani.
It's all happened.
They could be. What is you doing, baby?
They haven't done a move that I'm like, why'd you do that?
I think we've chipped away maybe the four ugliest teams in baseball. Let's do some positive.
Sure.
Let's do some positive. I think winning the offseason, the team is the Dodgers right now, right? It's Shohei. It's Glass now. We still think they're going to do more. They're supposedly in on Yamamoto.
There's no way they come out of this without acquiring one more of those one-year guys, at least.
Is there another team that currently has an argument for won the offseason?
The Braves haven't done much.
I don't think so, right?
I don't think anyone else has a case. And the Dodgers have won the offseason still with holes they got to take care of. But
right, they get some Dodgers respect because they're going to win a ton of games anyway.
They have blind trust.
It starts with Shohei, Freddie. And Shohei's like 2 signings, even though he's not this year. But he is. He's like 3 signings. No, he's like 4. We'll put the Dodgers up there by themselves for now.
I think they are. The only other team that I think has done enough to even think about it is the Cardinals, and you can't you can't say that yet with them.
No. But I do think the Cardinals are in good offseason. Like, we've gotten far away from it. So that's the second tier right now. Good offseason. The St. Louis Cardinals brought in 3 starting pitchers.
They said they needed to bring in at least 3. They immediately got 3.
They immediately did their plan. They've been quiet since then.
And one of them is Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray was good last year. Gibby came over from the Orioles. Lance Lynn. Yeah, it's still not a murderer's row, I guess, necessarily. But they added 3 major league starting pitchers. Like, that was a good offseason for them. And I think this is on a scale, because I think we've been laughing a little bit. This has been a slower offseason. So a lot of this can change, and that's why I think it's funny to do a mid-offseason tier list. And we'll see how much it changes in a couple months or so.
Yeah, I think there's still one more move that I think they'll do at some point, a little shuffling of the deck. But, I mean, look at that team, and offensively, the guys honestly hit enough, get some better vibes around the team, which these 3 pitchers I think will help.
And who do you love in the NL Central right now? And that'll be a talking point of this tier list. Good offseason. I think I do want to put our Yankees. They have work to do, sure, but they added Juan Soto.
They added Juan Soto, and Trent Grisham is a depth piece for them. That is a nice move. They needed to do both of those things. They went out and said they need at least 2 lefty outfielders, and they got 3.
They have. So the Yankees,
there's more holes there. But
needed Juan Soto. They've gotten Juan Soto. Like a lot of these teams, there's more work to do, but they got Juan Soto. If the Yankees did not have Juan Soto, oh my God.
If
the mood in this office would have been awful for the past 2 weeks.
There was, 10 minutes between when the Verdugo move was announced and there's a little limbo. People are like, is Soto done? And thank God it's not. But if that was the move,
Alex Verdugo,
he's a good upgrade. I don't think we'd be saying just good off season if it was him and not Soto as well.
No, but Verdugo as the second piece, yeah, especially compared to a lot of these other teams, and that's the exercise.
Done. And the Yankees had the worst left field production, both all in and specifically offensively of last year. Between Verdugo and Soto, they've turned that into the best.
Everywhere. We'll put our Yanks up there for now.
They've had a good offseason.
Good offseason. Snaps.
Claps, yes.
I might have a little bit of a wild card for you for good offseason. Okay. Are the Phillies? Because they re-signed Nola.
Yeah, they took care of that early. That was number 1 on their list.
And, it's not like they lost a lot. Nola was, the big question mark for them. I'll double-check the Phillies' free agents.
Log.
They traded for Michael Lorenzen, and they're probably losing Reese, who was out for the whole season anyways. And Harper's the best first baseman in the league now. So,
yeah, their lineup currently is JT Realmuto slated for 7th.
I think Phillies have had a good offseason.
They've addressed needs. I'm sure there will be some move they do that will also be good.
Off-season goal was keep Aaron Nola.
Yeah. Keep or replace.
And they're supposedly in Yamamoto, so maybe they can move to a 1. But I don't think, at this point, they can't have a bad offseason.
No.
It's not like they're trading away any guys. I know there was Castellanos rumors, but those were for Soto, right?
I think those were if they were going to get a Soto.
Yeah. So I think the Phillies,
or if they were going to go get Belly, or
hasn't been a ton of action, but I think it's been a good offseason for them. So that's good. Who else can I say has had a good offseason looking at these teams? I think my Diamondbacks have an argument.
Oh, I do like their offseason.
Erod, Lourdes comes back.
There's a lot of good takes this weekend from people being like, hey, they made the World Series, then they got Lourdes back, who was huge for them. They got Erod, they got Suarez.
Eugenio, that's right.
Better. I love them for good offseason.
As much as we love Longo, and they, who else are they losing? They added Tommy Pham. Technically, Madison Bumgarner is a free agent, so his contract is up there. They added Erod and Eugenio Suarez, and third base was kind of we love Longo. They improved on their position. That's what I'll say.
Yes,
I think they had a good offseason.
Yeah. And like any team, can get better. I think I found one that not for good offseason, but a surprising nothing matters. And they've treated this offseason a little bit like nothing matters, and I love it.
Okay.
The Atlanta Braves.
That's interesting.
They did go get Kelnick, and that is a substantial change. You've gotten a new starting player, but
man,
a little bit nothing matters.
In a way, nothing matters. In a very opposite way of the other teams.
They are going and just taking team salaries for a prospect, seeing if they can flip them, and if they can't, they just cut them.
I mean, there's a what is you doing, baby, right? Potentially. I mean, we're viewing this through a very unique lens right now.
They are having one of the more just unique off seasons I've seen. Because what did we want them to go do? They went and they got good reliever.
Yeah,
Ronaldo
that's
Lopez.
True. That's true. They did do some stuff on the back end, and they added Kelnick, so I don't know.
They added Bummer.
I don't know. Currently, Reynaldo Lopez.
So maybe they're having just a good offseason.
Yeah, let's wait on them. I like the thought process. I like the creative work there. Let's see. Is there any other team that's currently jumping out that's like, wow, they've had a good offseason? I think the Tigers have a slight argument.
I was in that division thinking about another team that I think has maybe had a good offseason. I think they're more depending on youth, the Royals, is who I'm referencing. Yeah. I think they're still dependent on youth. Our guy, Vinny.
Vinny comes
back. Be there, be healthy, mash like you mash. I think they are more depending on youth, but there's an argument that they've added vets they needed and have had a nice offseason.
I'm just worried they're close to nothing matters.
Yeah.
They were 56 wins last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah. I think they're, yeah. You can't say good. Depending on youth, I think is very fair for them. I don't know if we want to place them yet.
I know I've been on a big Tigers kick lately. Is there an argument the Tigers have had a good offseason? They've lost Erod.
Yeah.
Who was good for them. They've added Canna. They added Jack Flaherty and Maeda and Andrew Chafin. I don't think you can say good offseason.
No.
I think they're a move away from being like, wow, the Tigers had a good offseason.
If they found a way to make one more move, it's a good offseason. I think they're look at the ages of some of these guys they need. Yes.
Yeah.
Parker Meadows is 24. Riley Green is 23.
Yeah. Okay.
Torkelson, I placed $5 on him to lead the league in homers. I don't know what that's about. It was an insane return.
If Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson take a step up, that's what dictates the Tigers right now. So let's put them on the depending on youth to get better, and let's start checking some teams off in this category.
Yes, and the Tigers, Casey Mize, Scooble,
right?
Aging out of youth, but
1-1 pick, Casey Mize. Depending on youth to get better. Detroit Tigers, sure. Pirates, I think we've had them in that bucket for a little bit.
Brought back Kutch yesterday.
I will tell you, go look at the Pirates rotation. It's tough. I think two guys in this Pittsburgh rebuild were supposed to be JT Brubaker and Johan Oviedo, and they're both Tommy John guys.
As Brubaker will be back sometime this year, right?
Mitch Keller, Martin Perez, who they just signed, Marco Gonzalez, Luis L. Ortiz, not super in my book, and Bailey Falter. But if you look at the lineup, O'Neal Cruz, man, Brian Reynolds, Key Bryan. They have McCutcheon on there twice, which looks like a website glitch right now, which I like.
I have that on my screen as well.
Sawinski, Henry Davis. Let's put
Currently slated for some catching duty, which they were hesitant to do.
It's a big draft pick. We'll put them in depending on youth to get better, just so we don't have to talk about them anymore.
Yeah.
Reds.
Oh yeah, the Reds. I like the supplements they've done. They aren't the type of moves that I think you can declare as good. And maybe there's one more big swing they do. But
Right, because the
whole story of last year.
So they added Jamer. Did they add a pitcher or no?
They have added into the bullpen Emilio Pagan
And Nick
Somebody
Martinez.
else? Yes, he's in their rotation.
Be a swing
right
man
now.
for them. They're depending on youth to get better.
I think they're depending on
Jamer's
youth
nice.
to get better.
Nick Martinez is nice. Pagan can be nice. But this team is depending on Matt McClain, Spencer Steer, Ellie De La Cruz, Noel V. Marte, Will Benson, Tyler Stevenson, Hunter Green, Ashcraft, and Abbott.
Strand.
Yeah, like it's
They need 2.5 of those hitters to this year tell you they're real and are firmly building blocks for us to be like they are better.
I like that.
They're depending on youth.
Depending on youth to get better.
Are the Rays nothing matters?
So they're interesting. I didn't know what bucket to put the Rays in, which isn't that what Tampa wants you to think. In a way, they're always looking for youth to get better. The second half of their lineup is still Josh Lowe, Isaac Paredes. Isaac Paredes is 24. He hit 31 dongs last year. B. Lau is 29 now. Siri 28. Luke Rayleigh. Their pitching staff.
I didn't expect to see Wander in their projected lineup.
Yeah, right?
He's out, Pop.
In a way, they're always. I mean, maybe there's just a Rays category. Maybe that's our silly twist.
We were kind of looking for an extra category, and then maybe the Braves are in the Rays.
Oh, whoa! Charlie Morton's former teams. Put Pittsburgh in there too. Okay, I'm actually open to that. And I think that makes the tier list a little more silly. Text from my mom, breaking news. Get Bernie. He's talking about going to Yes.
I mean, if he goes to Yes, that's an avenue for us to talk to him.
It would be more Bernie. Okay, so Charlie Morton's teams are in the back of my head. Depending on youth to get better, the Baltimore Orioles. I think very similar to the Cincinnati Reds. We're hoping they do something this offseason. They really haven't. They added Kimbrel to kind of cover up for Bautista out for the year. But the Baltimore Orioles are going to be dependent on Gunnar, Adley, Mountcastle, Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westberg, Grayson Rodriguez, Kyle Brett. Yes, they are. Their ship is moving depending how their young ball players do. I think that's an easy one. I think God, it's really tough. Maybe they end up Charlie Morton's former teams. Did Charlie Morton pitch for the Brewers?
No, but they might be in Charlie Morton's former teams.
They could be. He never stopped there, huh? Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Tampa, Houston, Philly. 4 starts with Philly. People forget.
Early, I think.
So I think mid. Well, we'll stay away from that word. Okay. Depending on youth to get better, Milwaukee really isn't. They want their youth to get better, but they're probably getting worse on the whole.
Their wholesale product is depending on youth to get better. Jackson Churrio's on the big league team.
Like that. That could
19.8 years old.
That could persuade me. The Cleveland Guardians. They are depending on youth to get better. The end of their rotation, their whole lineup. They don't make moves via free agency. Their game plan every year for the past while is depending on youth to get better, which just feels a little sad because they're kind of good at it.
Yeah, and they've shown like they can go make the midseason ad for of that and fill in a hole like that, but they depend on youth.
Okay. Mariners tricky, Rays tricky, Jays will get to. Miami, are they depending on youth to get better? Not really.
What is Miami's deal?
Yeah, maybe we should head to the bottom category of what is you doing, baby?
Could be a lot of factors at play there.
Because Miami rings a bell there. You know what? I'll start with a fun team for our company, and it's due to our friend a little bit. How about the Twins? Are they what is you doing, baby? Are they a sneaky depending on youth to get better? Like I kind of had I had a head turn moment when I saw when you look at the Twins lineup, their 1 and 2 hitter are supposed to be Eddie Julian and Royce Lewis. So like in a way,
ultimately, if those two take a step, the Twins will be the same tier of team, and if they don't, they have lost ground in the division.
I'll go there. I'm gonna do them youth to get better for now, because Twins I wanted to be tough on, A, because it's good content, and B, because it was funny that the Tigers and Royals were making move. They're still not in the same league as the Twins, so the Twins in a way. I think they're depending on their youth to get better. They're shedding some salary. And I think it's a step away from what is you doing, baby. Because if Eddie Julian and Royce Lewis are dudes, which they kind of are, then that's the Twins' formula to getting better. Okay. Got that out of the way. So I thought that was going to be a what is you doing, baby. Maybe we just put Miami in there just to get it over with. Unless that Charlie Morton category needs a potential another team. But what are they doing? We do this every year.
I never know what they're doing.
We do this every year with the Miami Marlins. Like, who's going out? Jorge Soler, currently a free agent. They added at the deadline last year. D-Rob. Yuli Gurriel played for them. Joey Wendell's gone.
Yeah, their lineup isn't young.
Jake Berger trade was actually nice for them. 34 homers last year for Jake Berger.
They've got him. He'll be 28 this year, driven by his child at home.
You know, they're in one of those tricky, like, depending on youth to get better, but in a way, every team has young players that you're depending on to get better. But in that division, and like you're right, the lineup is where they need to get better, and there's not a lot of like, oh, that guy's 23, hope he breaks out. There's none of that.
There's not like the kid there. Like it's like Jazz is the youngest person in that projected starting lineup, and they're depending on him.
Right.
And I would still categorize him as youth, but
I think they're just a classic what is he doing, baby. Another team for me that this fan base was mad at me, but I think they're on my side now, the Mariners.
Yeah.
What is we doing? Last year, I thought you guys had the number one shot to go take down the Astros. You traded away Kelnick on a salary dump. We've moved away from that one pretty quick. Eugenio, I know he struck out a lot. I know Teoscar struck out a lot, but those were also thumpers in the middle of your lineup.
Clearly their goal is eliminate some strikeouts, and they've done that, but you have to still replace that production. And they have 3 listed platoon situations on roster resource. That's a lot.
You know what? Let's go out for blood today, BBD. I think the Boston Red Sox.
That was the very next thing I was going to say.
Right? Like they're taking meetings with Yamamoto. Is Snell going to end up there? I think the
Monty team, are they?
I think the number one thing, and you know, the We Got Ice guys are Red Sox fans in the office. They are silly boys. I won't deny that for a second. The exercise that's happened a couple times now is if the Red Sox sign Snell, Cy Young winner, pitched in the AL East, They've needed kind of that go-to guy. Sale's been banged up. He hasn't pitched over 102 innings since 2019. It's going to be 2024 in a week, people. That's a while. I think Red Sox fans actually aren't going to be mad at this because I think they're asking similar questions. What are we doing?
The sentiment I've gotten on Twitter.
Betts on our team?
Why isn't Mookie Betts on our team? They traded. We talked about this on the Yankees end of things when they traded the Yankees Alex Verdugo. I know he was kind of out in the locker room, sure,
right?
But they wanted to just dump him, but they could have gotten that package from anybody.
A lot of other teams, right?
Or bought a prospect from the Padres or something who are going to replace Soto one way or another. They're trying to be good. They could have, and they gave him to the Yankees. They replaced him with Tyler O'Neill, who I like that fit there, but he doesn't change the projection of that team at this point. And they've been waiting all offseason. Every Red Sox fan I follow and talk to has been saying they're going to make a big move. Is that Snell? Is that Monty? Are those big moves?
I guess that's the thing. I don't.
They can elevate. But
you know what? Maybe I'm being a little tough. If they had Snell, it makes everyone else feel better. It makes Sale feel better. It makes Pivetta feel better. It makes Bayo feel better. So that would be significant. But in the AL East, I'm not really sure. And offensively, they're still trying to replace Justin Turner, who actually hit a lot for them last year. Adam Duvall had some good runs in the outfield. I don't think Red Sox fans are going to be too offended by the what is they doing, because I don't.
And that's midway through here. If they add Snell, Monty, and find that one more bat, they elevate to, depending on youth, between Casas and I guess Wilyer Abreu. If those guys took a step.
Man, there are some interesting teams left. I think what I'm going to do, and this is actually the team that kind of led me into this exercise. You've kind of heard it in my voice when I talk about them. I'm going to put the Cubs in What Is You Doing, Baby? Because they were rumored to be one of the biggest Ohtani teams, and that didn't pan out. And the thing I keep coming back to, you've probably heard me say it a few times, Belly and Stroman. Those were the dudes on that team. Stroman was midseason Cy Young votes. Belly put it together for the full year. Remember? We're going to trade him away. We didn't trade him away.
Everyone kind of thought,
awesome.
Everyone kind of thought that first half, the second half won't be the same, and he was way better in the second half. People thought Cubs could get away with murder trading him at that high of value, and he got better.
And we talked about they extended Ian Happ, they signed Dansby, they signed Seiya, signed Jameson Taillon. So they've made, the Cubs have envisioned this as a 3-year window, I think. Maybe more than that because they wanted Shohei. And they were fun last year. They traded for Jamer, although I don't think he was gangbusters for the Cubs. They're still looking to replace Cody Bellinger, who was great for them, Marcus Stroman, who was good for them. And that's to get them to the 83 win team they were last year. So that's where I get really nervous. I think the Cubs are going to make moves. But is it going to be enough that they, compared to what Belly and Stroman did last year, are the Cubs' next 3-4 moves going to be enough to put them in good offseason? I kind of don't see it.
Yeah, there's nothing I think they can do for us to be for us and for them to feel demonstrably better about them than we did last year.
So
I liked them last year.
Let's say Yamamoto's out. If the Cubs went Belly, who I believe in, and then Snell, we've been looking for a Snell team. Would that be a good offseason? Kind of.
We'd be able to do a debate.
I think what is you doing, baby? Cubs fans, let me know if there's something I'm missing. I'm very open to that. because I'm wondering who's going to be a factor for them next year, and you know who can be a factor for you. It's Factor. It's Factor. I'm not even going to read from this because I got some real stuff for you. Factor sent a box to the apartment the other day. And Jess was like, okay, what's this about? And I was like, oh, yeah, we work with Factor. I mess with Factor. And Factor, if I'm being honest, is a little more my speed because it's the pre-made meals. It's already done. 2 minutes. Poke some holes in it. Put it in the microwave. You're ready to go. I like the chicken dishes that come with it. I think I had a chicken mushroom, some zucchini noodles floating around. High-quality, delicious meals. 35-plus chef-crafted meals every week that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your preference. Let's be honest. When you're getting these things, you want them to fill you up, and you want them to be healthy. Factor's got that covered. And you can head to factormeals.com/wake50. All right. Use code WAKE50 and get 50% off. That's code WAKE50 at factormeals.com. Again, WAKE50. Click the link in the description. And another, sometimes I mistime my meals, like especially on the weekends. Like I ended up having like a 3 p.m. meal on Saturday, and I was like, oh, God, what am I doing now? I had a Factor meal at like 7. Bang. You know, not too filled, but kind of right where you be. It's healthy. Enough about me. Do I need to offend Giants fans more? They're already not in love with me. But if you had to put the Giants fans somewhere, where would you put them?
Earlier when we were in our depending on youth era, I kept meaning to go check out some ages and see if they spoke to me. And there's a few young arms, and
Kyle Harrison.
He's the one that's in my book. Keaton Wynn, I can't say the same about.
Patrick Bailey, Luciano, Luis Matos.
I like Tom
Lee.
Murphy as a match with Bailey.
Man, Jock Peterson off this team. Brandon Crawford off this team. They just signed Tom Murphy. Maybe they're a feel like Charlie Morton's ex team. I don't know. I got nothing for them. What about the Mets? Are they depending on youth to get better? Are they Yamamoto? Are they what is you doing, baby?
I think.
Are they nothing matters?
Because I think if they just get Yamamoto,
right?
Just get him,
right?
We would say good off season. That's the guy they wanted. They went and got him.
They got Sevy. I forgot about that.
They like Sevy, who the stuff was there. Needs a tweak, but
know who's currently listed as the last player on the Mets roster?
I'm looking at it.
Zach Short.
And I like that.
Compound.
They added Joey Wendell.
I mean, right now it feels like the Mets season is dictated off of Alvarez, Beatty, Vientos at the end of their lineup.
Because Lindor, Alonso,
because the other guys are good.
They have a lot of questions around Starling Marte. I know Mets fans are in a tizzy about him.
And like the moves they made last year were to get prospects to go attack the next year. God, nothing matters would get people real hot. Especially if they ended up getting Senga.
And they might be currently nothing matters and jump to good offseason with Yamamoto, but I think they would currently be nothing matters.
All right. I think we need to start chewing towards the end of this.
Yes.
We got Talking Baseball coming up. Beebs, can you add after depending on youth to get better and above nothing matters? Can you put was or feels like Charlie Morton's former team? Because I think that's the only way to chew through the rest of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll add that too.
Now I gotta pick a color for that.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay.
Gray.
Was or feels like Charlie Morton's former team. God, that's going to get people hot.
And that category, I think it's where we place our Atlanta Braves.
I think Braves are easy there.
I think Astros are easy there.
Easy there.
And I lost them on my...
I think I'm going to put the Pirates down there.
Slide the Pirates down. I feel like I have... Oh, there's... Yeah, I could not find my Astros.
Rays.
Rays are one of his a former team. And we want Brewers in that, right?
I think so. Yes. That's what made this serious. Okay, this has opened up a lot for me because what is you doing, baby? A team, again, I guess I'm attacking fan bases that have been mad at me. The Blue Jays.
Yes.
I'm just going to run through this quick, people. They're another Ohtani. Maybe there should have been an Ohtani damage category. That would have been too clean. Give me Charlie Morton.
You thought you were getting Ohtani.
The Toronto Blue Jays, they lost out on Ohtani. Kevin Kiermaier played 129 games for them last year. Brandon Belt played 103. Matt Chapman played a lot of games. And so did Whit Merrifield. That's a lot of games played that they haven't addressed. And I know there's some Blue Jay fans will be like, oh, anything but Matt Chapman. You still got some pretty good defense.
He still gave you value. You still have to replace that.
He gave you a month and some at-bats here and there. There still has to be replacements. Blue Jays, what is you doing, baby? Are they going to make a significant move? Are they not? Supposed to be Ohtani. Blue Jays fans, I'm sorry.
They seem like one of the two teams most in on Bellinger right now. But if you don't get him, you kind of have to go get Kiermaier back.
Have the Rangers done anything?
They added Tyler Mahle, who will miss part of the year. No Scherzer will be out.
Are they feel like Charlie Morton's former team?
They kind of feel like Charlie Morton's former team.
I'm gonna put them there for now, just to get them.
I think we can put them there.
I'm going Royals.
They might be nothing matters because they just won the World Series.
Right, but that's just gonna really throw people off. I think I'm going Royals. Nothing matters.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Royals. I wanted to believe. I like Waka and Lugo. I love Vinny Pasquantino.
I'm challenging Vinny to make us change our mind.
So the four teams I'm left with are Halos, Padres, Giants, and Mets.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I like the Padres, and I'm grateful for them being in the category I'm about to propose.
Right?
Are they? What is you doing, baby?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because
You're cutting payroll after last offseason.
They went out and made historic baseball moves, and now they just had to trade away Juan Soto for 1 year.
Because I talk to one specific Padres fan a lot, and he's like, "Yeah, I love Jake Cronenworth. He had however many years left, and they just kind of gave him 7 years for no real reason, and a little bit because of that, they have to trade away Juan Soto on his last year." Gave Xander 11 years for nothing. I like him. I like the team. They will still be pretty good. I don't know what their move is to improve from their current point. They will do one.
You know what?
I like the package. I think they'd maximize that Soto package.
I think San Diego's a what is you doing, baby? I want to move the Texas Rangers to depending on youth to get better. Because they've made their big moves. Simeon, Seager.
Yeah.
DeGrom at some point next year. I don't know. Scherzer. Like, they've made their impact moves. How good the Texas Rangers are kind of depends on Evan Carter, Josh Young, Leody Tavares, Zeke Duran still around.
I was going to say Zeke Duran.
I
huge
think
for their first half. Currently listed as a 9-hole DH, and that's always funny.
And next year, are we going to see a Jack Leiter? Are we going to see, some of those guys? So I like that for them. That's kind of a different feel of a team on that list, but they've already done their bidding.
Yeah. Oh, they got Kirby Yates. Forgot about that.
Love that for them.
Maybe they end up getting Hader. It feels like they don't have that payroll ad in them that at that level, but if they got that, I'd say good off season.
Are the Angels nothing matters?
Yep.
Yeah.
Angels.
You just got to be honest.
I'm sorry, you don't.
Nothing matters. Okay, I think this lines up perfect because I think the Giants' best category is was or feels like Charlie Morton's former team.
And I like that spot.
Because they got Jung Ho Lee and they're moving on from some older, like they're turning a page, like they're looking for youth to get better. And the way they're the Rays.
Is some youth they're depending on to get better.
The last team we have, and God, we were going to invite Jolly to do this exercise, and thank God we didn't. You know what?
I was about to send him a picture and call him.
Let's see if he'll pick up the phone. I never call Jolly. This is scary.
I think he and I have like 5 phone calls.
Is he underwater? What was that?
He might have just died.
Here comes the text. I'm on the train, man. The Mets winning the offseason. Good offseason. Depending on youth to get better, which I consider them for. It sucks because if we could move one team up to good offseason. How about this? Of Detroit, Cincy, Baltimore, Cleveland, Minnesota, and Texas. If you had to put one of those teams in good offseason. Or I guess Charlie Morton's teams too. Braves. Are they having a good offseason? Houston, Pittsburgh. Let's try calling Jolly on the train one more time.
One more time. Could be
Last
funny.
bidding.
What's up, Jake?
Hey, Jolly, it's Jake. We're about to wrap up Wake and Jake. There's one team that's not on our tier list, and I want to give you the honors because I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
So the current categories are winning the offseason, good offseason,
Okay.
depending on youth to get better, was or feels like Charlie Morton's former team, nothing matters,
Yes.
and what is you doing, baby? Where would you put your New York Mets?
My heart says nothing matters because that's how Mets fans feel right now.
That's the one I was most leaning
I think
towards.
it's probably relying on the youth to get better because that
It's kind of true.
kind of feels like the plan at like the rotation and catcher and third base and like a lot of important positions. So unless anything changes, I think I would put them there.
All right. Well, I think you've left us in even more of a pickle because those are the two categories that did jump out.
Those are the two we were
Good
picking
luck.
between.
All right. Thanks, Jolly Olive.
No problem, bye.
Bye. Mets, nothing matters. We'll do it for clicks. All right. Thank you, everyone. Comment where we went right or wrong. Definitely comment on the graphic. That should be ugly comments. No football today. Enjoy your holiday. We'll check in sporadically next week. It might be a breaking news Wake and Jake week.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
You might get something.
You'll see something. You'll see something. Thank you, guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, I guess, if you're about that. Subscribe, preview. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Second half of the week, I'm not in this continent, so
You're up.
First half of the week, bye.
Get ready.